Good morning all. Welcome back to our science class. Now we are in week 6. We are discussing chapter 11, lesson 4, phases and eclipses. So the lesson objectives: to explain what causes the phases of moon, to describe solar and lunar eclipse. So what causes the moon's phases? So first of all, you have to know the moon orbits the earth. The moon orbits an angle with respect to Earth's orbit around the sun. The moon doesn't shine its own, it reflects sunlight. So just like sun, the moon doesn't shine its own, it reflects sun's light. So the different shapes of moon you see from Earth is called phases. So what do you mean by phases? The different shapes of moon that we can see from Earth is called phases. Phases are caused by motion of moon around Earth. As the moon orbits Earth, the relative position of moon, Earth and sun change. The changing relative position of moon, Earth and sun causes phases of the moon. The phase of moon you see depends on how much of sunlight side of moon faces Earth. So you have to know what is phase means, the different shape of moon. That's because of the motion of moon, the relative position of Earth, moon and sun causes the phases of moon. See phases of the moon. Half the moon is almost always in sunlight. But since the moon orbits Earth, you see the moon from different angles. The phase of moon you see depends on how much sunlight side of the moon faces Earth. So look at this picture carefully. During the new moon phases, the side of moon facing Earth is not lit. As the moon revolves around the Earth, you see more of the lit side of moon until you see all of the lit side. As the month continue, you see less of lit side. You can see these changes in this figure about to 29.5 days after the last new moon, a new moon occurs again. So see here again the picture. First of all, when the sunlight reflects off moon's far side, we call it a new moon. But when sunlight reflects off on moon's near side, we call it full moon. So here number 1 is new moon and next one is number 5, a full moon. So we will discuss detail about this. Okay, look at this picture. First of all, new moon. You can see new moon here. Because a new moon, the side of moon facing the earth is not lit. Okay, then you can see the second step, that is a waxing crescent. Waxing means, what do you mean by waxing? Growing. That moon start to grow, then the first quarter, then comes a waxing gibbous. Gibbous means not a full circle and not a half circle, greater than half circle and less than a full circle, this shape. So the new moons, the shape of moons become a gibbous, a waxing gibbous. Then it's become a full moon. Full moon means you know that it will reflect all the sun's light, full moon. Then again a waning gibbous. Waning means shrinking. The moon start to shrink. That full circle start to shrink. That's why it is called a waning gibbous. Then third quarter, then a waning crescent, and finally a new moon. So this like we know that about 29.5 days after the last new moon, a new moon occurs again. So these are the phases of moon. A new moon, then waxing crescent, first quarter, full, waning gibbous, third quarter, waning crescent, new. Here you have to understand this only. Waxing means growing, waning means shrinking. And gibbous, why the word gibbous means it is the not a circle shape, a shape less than a circle. Okay, these are the phases of moon. Here also you can see how the moon appears from the sun. The first one, a full moon. Then the moon start to grow, that is a waxing crescent. Then first quarter, then waxing gibbous, then full moon, a waning gibbous, third quarter, a waning crescent, and lastly a new moon. Now we are discussing what you mean by eclipses. The moon's orbit around the sun is slightly tilted with respect to Earth's orbit around the sun. As a result, the moon travels above and below Earth's orbit, but on rare occasion, Earth, the moon and the sun line up. When an object in space comes between sun and a third object, it casts a shadow on that object, causing an eclipse to take place. There are two types of eclipses, solar eclipses and lunar eclipses. So we will discuss one by one what is solar eclipses. So a solar eclipse occurs at a new moon when the moon passes directly between Earth and Sun, blocking sunlight from Earth. The moon's shadow then hits Earth. Here look at this picture. You can see Sun, then Earth, then Moon. Here moon comes between Sun and Earth. Moons come between, line up, comes between Sun and Earth. This time we can call this as a solar eclipses, means here Earth blocks the sunlight from Earth. So the moon's shadow then hits Earth. The moon's shadow has two parts. Look at the picture. Moon's shadow. The darker area we can call as umbra, and the larger, lighter area here you can see in this blue color. Lighter part is penumbra. During solar eclipse, the sunlight is completely blocked to the people within the umbra region. They see total solar eclipses, but the part of sunlight remain visible in penumbra region, so the people within the penumbra see the partial solar eclipses. You can see umbra and penumbra. The darker area, that is umbra, and the lighter part, that is penumbra. Now, what is lunar eclipses? Lunar eclipses occurs a full moon. A full moon when Earth is directly between the moon and sun. During lunar eclipse, the Earth blocks sunlight from reaching the moon. Earth blocks sunlight from reaching the moon. Lunar eclipses occurs only when there is a full moon because Earth is between the moon and sun at that time. Earth's shadow also has an umbra and penumbra. When the moon is Earth's umbra, you see total lunar eclipse. For the most lunar eclipses, Earth, the moon and the sun are not quite in line and only a partial lunar eclipse occurs. But you have to know this only. Lunar eclipse means here you can see Earth is between sun and moon. So during a lunar eclipse, you can see that Earth's sunlight, the moon often does not totally disappear during a total lunar eclipse. Instead, it can be seen as a very dark red color because of refraction of sunlight through the Earth atmosphere. So you can see during lunar eclipse the moon color, especially in the umbra part, we can see the reddish color moon. This because the refraction, light refraction. So that's only for today's lesson. Here we discuss about the phases of moon and solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. So if you have some clarification or any doubt in Zoom class, we can clear all our doubts, or please type your question in Schoology and watch all related videos, so it will be clear for